All rise for the Honorable Judge Foodie.
Hey guys, welcome to Judge Foodie. This is the most prestigious food court on the internet.
Wow.
Today we have two lucky members of the jury. They couldn't skip jury duty, so they are stuck here. We got Mario.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm so excited to serve on a jury for the first time ever.
First time ever?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, hopefully this is a much more enjoyable experience than...
So far, it sucks.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, we got high hopes then. Sweet. We also have Mr. Nick Boyle.
Yes, sir. I solemnly swear to give my biased opinion.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's what we're looking for.
So most prestigious?
Yeah. Well,
Or is it prestigious?
it's one of those.
Okay.
It also is probably the least prestigious by nature of what it is. But,
Okay.
you know, we're not going to focus on the details. So
details.
To run you guys down, I need your help to make some judgments on these cases.
Hang on. Did you just say to rub you guys down?
No,
I would never.
I don't think you said that.
Okay. I thought you
I would
said.
never.
Okay.
I'm held to an oath. Am I held to an oath? Probably.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
so.
The food
Yeah.
oath.
You took an oath.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, I'm held to an oath.
Okay.
No rub downs.
Just rundowns.
Lots of those.
So
Lots of
Deshaun
those.
If you're listening, now's your time to stop listening.
Yeah,
No rub downs.
he's already out.
Okay.
I'm sure he was immediately
Yeah.
turned off.
Hey,
No pun
actually,
intended.
I have to. I want to out your identity. Aren't you that Snacksonville guy?
Who?
Exactly. You're the snack. You're
Have
Mr.
you ever seen me
Snacksonville.
and him in the same room?
That's true.
No, wow.
I
That's a
won't.
good point.
But to celebrate food, I actually have a story.
Okay. Give me some background info.
Well, it involves a lifetime, essentially, of thinking I was lactose intolerant.
31 years.
32 years.
32 years. Well,
Yep.
you didn't know at one.
I wasn't drinking mama's milk. Mama, I can't have the dairy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are audio recordings.
Yeah, that's real.
Can't wait to hear how this one ends.
Well, no, I went and got tested, and they do like this test. They do like this. I think they measure the histamines in your breath.
It's a
Okay.
breath test?
It's a breath test, and you sit
I
there.
would not have thought that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You think it'd be like blood or...
It's like in the morning for breakfast. Get it?
Yeah, wow.
And
That's a good one.
at the end, it's like 2.5 hours. You breathe. You drink this like urine-looking stuff with like a dairy powder. It's not urine with dairy powder. And then, yeah, it turns out I wasn't. And
So you just happen to get kind of tummy aches every time.
not even. I used to think I did.
So now you don't.
So all these years
I
of
wonder if you
ordering
changed.
cheeseless pizza.
I've been eating like a psychopath. So the lady,
Yeah.
like the nurse, is like, you just get the farts once in a while because like no, that's normal with dairy.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I
Yeah.
had Domino's, that little Italian joint.
Yeah.
It was the best thing. I had ice cream.
So you just went out and celebrated.
Yeah, you're like getting everything dairy.
Yeah, my
Smart.
fiance had never had shout out a Oreo Blizzard. She thought it was better than McFlurry. That's another topic. So we went to Dairy Queen, and I got the Reese's one just to share bites. It was a revelation. It was like, where have I been? Dairy is awesome.
So were you anti-dairy before, or?
I just refused. I wouldn't eat it. When we went to Italy,
You have a lot of self-control. 'cause
Growing
a
up
lot
Italian-
of people
right.
just...
Well, I'm very vain when it comes to my self-image too. So I would just like don't eat it and be healthy. And I'm gonna make love to so many food items now. Chicken tendies and ranch. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, ranch.
Wings.
Blue cheese.
I wouldn't even
Wings, because I'm Go Bills
So
from
much
Buffalo.
dairy out there.
Wings
Yeah.
and blue cheese I can have again.
You like blue cheese over ranch?
There is no
I'm a blue cheese over ranch.
there is no ranch. Ranch is for
Okay.
chicken
All right,
tenders.
all right.
So maybe we'll find that on a Reddit. Some
Honestly,
freaking weirdo
you'd
eating
be
ranch and
surprised.
wings.
So what I'm going to do is read you guys a devastating review or pretty crazy story that I found in the bowels of Reddit. And we
Bowels.
need to collectively make a determination about who's in the wrong. So we're gonna start off with I would say a pretty mild one. It's from a subreddit called Am I the Asshole? And
Okay.
the whole point of this subreddit, if you're not familiar with Reddit, is basically people just share their stories on the internet and let the internet tell them what they think.
I
Which is
am like an
dangerous.
old man. Reddit is just like a chat, like a talk thing, like a chat room.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, just a large chat room, comment room.
Okay.
All right. So this one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Telling My Wife Her Reaction to a Waitress Not taking a picture was over the top.
Okay.
I, 37 male, met my sister in commonly visited city a few weekends back.
Where is it located?
It didn't
Doesn't
say,
say.
just
Oh.
commonly visited.
I was teasing.
My wife, 37 female, came with me and my 2 kids, 8 female and 6 male. The restaurant was nice, and she asked the waitress to take all of us a picture, and she said, "That's not part of the job," and walked away.
Oh my
I offered to take the picture instead, but she wanted all of us to be in it, so whatever. When the bill came, she snatched that shit and made sure to put 0 tip over the picture. I would have tipped her cash, but my wife would have told the waitress to give it back, and I didn't want to embarrass her like that. Anyways, when we were driving back to our hotel, I told her that I thought tipping 0 was a bit mean. I mean, me personally, I would have just taken the picture, but I guess in the job description, nowhere did it say takes pictures for customers. I also said her reaction was a bit over the top. She said that if she didn't want to do stuff like that, working at a tourist city wasn't for her. Before I could say something back, she put in her AirPods and straight up ignored me. Am I the asshole?
Okay. So this is more so, is he an asshole towards his wife?
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of angles here.
Okay.
Is the waitress an asshole?
There's so much
Is
to
her
unpack
wife an
here.
asshole? Is he an asshole?
He's an asshole for naming his kids male and female
Yeah.
after them.
Well, because
You're gonna hear a lot of
female
that
junior, 'cause
same
his wife
name.
was female too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Male junior, female junior.
I think, to deliberate a little bit,
Yeah.
I think the waitress, definitely asshole.
Agreed.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. Yeah, it's not in your job description. In your job description as a waitress is customer service.
I'm fairly certain, having been a waiter,
Yeah. Where?
Buffalo Wild Wings,
Oh,
I also was a server
love,
there.
Really?
Love
Yeah,
the
it was a good
boneless.
time.
since
I liked it.
1982.
Okay, earlier than me.
Well,
No.
well,
No. Buffalo Wild Wings is around since 1982.
you think Nick's 41?
I didn't. It was
Good
actually out
shit,
of
man.
left field, and I
Shit,
was
man.
just gonna roll with it.
You know, we had jerseys that had 82 on them. Everybody wore
Oh,
jerseys.
I remember the jerseys.
I don't
Yeah.
remember that part.
Can we
yeah.
talk about the boneless wings? Are so good there.
Yeah, the nuggets.
Yeah, they're like nuggets.
They are adult chicken nuggets.
Yeah, yeah,
adult
yeah.
chicken.
A-
But
adult.
I'm pretty sure when I applied to the job, there was no, in your description, this is what you'll do.
I'm not even sure we got a job
Well,
description.
in 1982, there was smartphones.
Yeah, this was in a newspaper ad that we answered.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think it's in the job description,
No.
but none of it's in the job description.
Right.
You're providing a good experience for the customer.
Right. It's a customer service
I
job.
feel like it's almost at your own risk to say something like that.
so
Also, don't you want a better tip?
Yeah,
yeah, what-
for sure.
Like,
was she like? Did she respond in like a bitchy way? It's not my job description.
so it sounded
That's
like.
that's the thing is sometimes they don't capture the tone, and sometimes I feel like I read this and I'm like, there's no way she said that. Like, what server in their right
It was
mind
probably
would
like,
say
oh,
that?
I'm so sorry. I'm too busy.
Yeah.
Right,
And-
and
but
this
it's-
guy like wrote it as
Yeah.
like,
If someone said that to me, it's not my job description. You know what my response would be? I'll just kill myself.
Well, see, I think going out to dinner and lunch with you, you
Oh,
are
no.
always the asshole.
Okay, why?
okay, how so?
I am not. You go ahead and you tell me
We'll
this.
explain it.
Yeah,
Okay, there's lots of rules for Mario.
there's not a lot of
One,
rules.
his back can't be to the door.
Yeah, I want to make sure I can. If it's like that's like a mafia rule.
That first rule, even I was not.
It's a
expecting.
mafia. You want to know who's coming in. No, it's really because
Number
it's
two,
drafty.
I feel like cops do that.
no, it's
true.
drafty. It's drafty.
Number
it gets
two,
chilly.
if he's not comfortable, he'll ask to move the table immediately.
Oh, that's okay.
Walk up to the table and say, you know what, I don't like this one.
Look at when you go out to a restaurant, you're paying for the ambience.
I think it's ambiance.
Okay, you want good ambiance. You want to look like you're prestigious. You want fine details,
Right.
right? I went once. I booked a reservation in Savannah with my fiance, and her name is Judy. Shout out. And I said, Judy, we're not sitting here. They put us in the back near the kitchen. It was dark. The whole point of going to that restaurant was
Closer
to
to
get.
the food. It comes out hotter.
No, you want a nice.
Speaking of
And-
coming out
and-
hotter, that's rule number 3.
Hang on, yes, but then they put us in front of a pole, like a pole that
Dude,
like
that's privacy.
no, and then I'm like, come on! I pointed to the good table. I'm like, can we? What are you
Wait,
saving
okay.
it for the mayor of Savannah?
Are you a booth or table guy?
I used to be booth.
My wife's booth
It
hard.
actually depends.
She likes a hard booth.
Soft booth, hard feelings.
Oh, she's a soft booth kind of girl.
I think it depends. So if I'm approaching the table, so I kind of agree with this, but not because I don't like
Look
the where it is. It's more like if you're going to sit down and the table is too far
No.
away from the seat, I want a table because I
Okay.
want to be able to scooch the chair.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I see the booth and I see it's 6 feet away from the table and you can't see, you're sitting on the end of your booth chair,
Okay.
I'm not doing that. I'll ask to change the table.
Do you sit next to your wife in the booth?
There's actually a story I found about
my
that,
God.
by the way. But no, I don't.
I kind of do that. No, but I would. It's a move.
I feel like that's a dating move. That's not a married move.
I
Well,
agree.
I date my fiance still.
Well,
It's very sweet of
Aw.
you.
yeah, that's nice.
Anyway, so Judy's in on the table thing. So
Okay.
she knows that's part of the gig now, and
'cause
she
you've-
started to
You've
do that.
conditioned her.
She started to do
She's
that now too.
What is that? Pavlov's dog?
Yeah, they say pathological.
He has like a bell in his pocket.
Yeah. When he
Alright.
when he walks up to a table and they go, "Your table?" That's when she goes, "We can't have this table.
So was the third thing hot? Oh yeah,
The food has to be piping hot.
Evan, come
Everything's cold."
My wife is very much that way. I could eat at room temperature.
Yeah.
on. No way, you
But,
guys.
okay, but I don't think there's that one I don't have any problem with.
Right.
Because that one's like, I think that's a very normal thing to expect.
Right.
Right. I mean,
The
you
table
do
thing, I think,
Italian
is not that
grandmother it and
crazy
stick your
either.
finger into the middle.
No,
of it.
here's the catch. If you go to like an Applebee's, at Chili's, if they bring you fries and if they're lukewarm, you tell they'll bring you a whole thing of hot fresh
Because they've been
fries
sitting in the or not the salamander, the warmer.
inside
Yeah.
of a salamander.
They're-
Ew.
They're, like,
They-
runners, please. We need hands.
They put them inside of a
Hands.
lizard.
You've run hands. Probably
Yeah.
plenty of hands.
Yeah.
Lots of hands.
Always.
I thought you said there was no
Have you
rub
ever-
down.
have you
There's no
ever-
rub downs.
Have you ever run hands?
No,
You've
I
never
don't.
worked
I
in a
didn't.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways, okay. So how did we get on this topic?
So the server is
Oh,
clearly the
server.
asshole. We've
Right. I was saying you're kind of an impartial.
the server's the
juror.
asshole. We've decided that. So jail forever for that.
Oh
Actually, probably not a fitting punishment, but
yeah. No. Jail.
so
Crime.
so do you think
Death.
the wife's do you think the wife overreacted?
Oh yeah. Can I start?
Yeah.
100%. So again, my fiance's got me on the trend of not tipping. Of like when they show you like self-service places and they give you that option to tip now. If you do everything yourself, it's like you don't have to feel bad for not tipping. And I 100% do that.
You're
But-
stronger than I am.
But she's really good at tipping someone if it's their job and they have no control over anything like that. Now, in this instance, you have grounds, I guess you can say, to like, she was rude. Maybe, we don't really know. But you never like take it out on the service portion of the job. Like,
Right.
tip them the bare 20%. Hell, if you really want to make a statement, give them 18%.
See, a lot of people don't
even
start
go
at
that
20.
high,
A
yeah.
lot of people, it's like you're at 0 until you do certain
Oh,
things,
that's just
which
too
I
much.
also don't think is that crazy because part of the, like you said, part of the ambiance when you go to a
Ambience.
restaurant, both of those,
Yeah.
is getting like a certain level of service. Because it's like if all you're getting is the food, like why are you even like what's the tip even mean?
That's okay.
But I kind of.
What do you want, a lap dance?
Well, right. That's kind of the idea. Like, I almost want to be.
There's two extremes.
I almost want to be left alone. Like, if you go to a hibachi restaurant, I get it.
Oh, I
He's
love
making
hibachi.
a show out of it.
Oh, I love
But if I go to Chili's, I'm not interested in the server hanging around and asking me what I'm doing after dinner.
Yeah.
I don't need that interaction. Just drop off my food and leave.
I-
And I'll still tip 20% because the food's good and the drinks are refilled. Why
Now, how about this? If they're over servicey, do you undertip?
not?
No.
I
So
had
being a server, I'll never tip less than 20%.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same.
It's just
way.
easy 20%.
I
Plus
had-
the math is easy.
Yeah.
I had
Just
without
bump- just
sharing too
double
many
it.
details during my proposal. We had it was a Disney waiter. It was like this restaurant. He overhung around to the point it was like, dude, and they
It's like,
knew
Can I watch?
they knew
Yeah.
it was happening because you
Oh.
call
So
ahead
like,
and
when
they're
are you
really
gonna
good.
do it?
Look, he was just, can I interest you in this? I was like, dude, bring everything on the menu. I don't care. Just get out of here. In that instance, I
wanted to
remember,
be in the
I remember
pictures.
thinking, but I remember thinking like this
Did he
guy.
ask if he could take the picture?
They
And
did-
you said no?
The
Now you're
manager,
the
the
asshole.
manager did because she wanted to. Yeah, but I remember thinking like this guy's hurting his tip. If he doesn't get out of here,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually kind of get that. So another thing I've noticed is that some people at restaurants, I've noticed generally the older like boomer crowd is guilty of this. They said this was in a tourist town. If you look around you and it's slammed and you're still asking someone who's like running back and forth to
Sure.
take a picture,
Right.
that's the other detail that
Hey,
I want to
but you know
They
what?
didn't
We
mention
don't
what
have
place it
that.
was.
That's not in evidence.
That
so.
is not an
that is not an
evidence.
evidence. All that's in evidence is that she apparently was a bitch about it, and that she didn't tip. So
I don't think the wife is that far off.
So-
I still
I think the no tipping thing is a problem, or being upset that the husband wanted to tip. But I think her reaction of being upset that she said it's not in the job description in front of her kids.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe we sentence
That's
her
a,
to
"Hey, can I
community
speak to
So
your
service.
manager?"
there's comments here, and I picked the top comment. It says, "I'll probably get downvoted, but I don't know. As a former waitress, I would never be so rude. I mean, it's a hospitality job. It is her responsibility to be hospitable. I would gladly take any pictures of groups. It's literally no skin off my back to do so, and is a good indicator people have enjoyed their time, i.e., probably a good tip as well.
Right.
Right.
I don't think asking for one picture is asking the waitress to be a personal photographer. I'm very anti not tipping wait staff, but to be honest, I could see why this would warrant being stiffed and why your wife was upset. That rude of a response to a harmless request would probably tank the good mood of the dinner. If your wife normally is pro tipping and this isn't a regular thing, I do think you're the asshole for not having her back.
Yeah.
I think they're missing some of the details we discussed. So I still am kind of with you guys on this one. I think the wife might be overreacting, and the servers,
Right.
for
So-
sure, probably still not. If they responded the way they did, they're probably the asshole.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think the husband did anything wrong.
Well,
I don't
that
think
was going
so.
to be the next guilty party here.
What do you think?
Well, let's sentence her. She's guilty, but community service
Community service,
because there's justification there.
I would
right?
say
How about
that's,
time
that's, a,
served?
that's a mild
Time served?
violation,
Okay, yeah.
too. Not tipping someone, I don't think is super
Time
crazy,
served
but
for sure. The husband,
Charges dropped.
against the husband,
Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong.
right? I think it's okay. So that was going to be my question to you guys, being married men already. Is it getting yourself into murky waters by not having your wife's back, or is it okay to say? Because I've had instances where I've said, "Look, babe, I think you should have tipped there."
I actually think the interaction was a fairly normal one.
Yeah, for sure. And her reaction of ignoring him also fairly normal.
Fairly normal.
Yeah.
Nothing too out of the
I mean, this
question.
kind of happened to my wife and I. We went to Starbucks and we ordered 2 coffees.
As one does.
Right. We got up to the window. They handed me my coffee.
Just
and then-
one.
Just one. And then said, the next coffee will be right out. There's a white coffee cup. Obviously, Starbucks cups are white. It's sitting next to the girl at the computer system, just continuing to take orders behind us. And 5 minutes goes by, and I roll down my window, and the window's still open into the store. And somebody else is talking to the girl who handed me my coffee, like they're like training almost.
Why didn't they give you the coffee?
Well, I say, hey, we're still waiting on our other coffee. Yeah, it'll be right out. Another 5 minutes goes by. She then reaches and grabs the cup of
Oh, boy.
and then hands it through the window. But while that's happening,
Hang on. Who does this?
The
the
girls,
girl.
like the coffee was made for 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Just sat there. Yeah.
and the whole time my wife's like, roll down the window. I want to tell them that they're taking too roll down. I'm like, stop, it's not worth it.
Oh,
Don't do it.
God.
And then she hands me the coffee and she's like, that just sat there. And she goes, yeah, I'm so sorry. Have a great day. And I was
No,
like, this just,
no.
and I just drove off.
That's
And then
No,
she was
no,
like, you
no.
gotta let me. And I was like, don't know. You
Oh,
don't want to yell
man.
at somebody.
I'm
If
on
she was
your
with,
team
if she
there,
was
to be
with, no
honest.
way. If she was with Mario, we would have been like, "Are you kidding me? You want me to drink this?"
It wasn't worth ruining this young girl's day because
You
they-
got to teach her a lesson, man.
the
Life
coffee
is
was
tough.
still hot. One of your rules. It was good. It wasn't lukewarm.
10-minute coffee sitting now is not hot.
It was all right.
All right, so the dog would drop the charges.
Yeah, Dad. Gets,
Husband's okay.
All
Dad's
right,
okay. Mal,
so
you
we've
did all
all-
right, Mal.
We've all been sentenced.
Yeah.
All right. So the next
You're
segment
sentencing
here-
us to a good time. That was for you.
All right, next story.
He's just crickets there.
So this one is a Yelp review. I don't know how often you guys use Yelp. but,
Never.
Almost always.
We have a friend who will once in a while give
Oh,
an
and to
intense
turn
Yelp.
back, how I got instead, I wrote a
Yelp review.
no, not a Yelp review. I went on to Starbucks customer support and told them about it, and they gave me my money back.
I was gonna say
Wow.
they
I
probably
know.
would.
They didn't ask for a receipt, proof of purchase.
No,
They're pretty free-handed with that.
and
kind
they
of stuff.
they,
let's
they
do it right
assured
now.
me that the people would be communicated
Put
with,
to death.
that they would be sentenced.
They're like, had you just given it back to her to remake, we'd have been fine. But now we have to kill her.
Oh, Starbucks.
So
All
Yelp.
right. So this one is a 1-star Yelp review about a restaurant in Washington, Seattle, Washington.
Cool.
The restaurant is called Biscuit Bitch.
Oh,
Oh,
they were allowed to
I bet
call their
they-
restaurant that?
I bet they don't take photos.
I have no idea. Washington's a very distant place.
I love
from
Seattle. Seattle's
Florida.
cool. Let me look at this place. Biscuit Bitch.
Is it biscuits as in
I think
southern biscuits or cookies?
I think it's either it's like breakfast food, and I'm pretty sure it's either like a stand or a food truck.
That makes sense.
If I could spell Biscuit Bitch. Let's check them out.
So while he's looking it
yeah,
up,
they look delicious.
I'm gonna read the review. So the review's by a gentleman named Brett B, and he was in Yelp Elite in 24. So service. When I arrived at the counter, the order taker said, "What up, bitch?" This might be their thing, but it is rude and ridiculous.
I love it.
Ambiance. Window ordering and little outside seating. Generally pretty much an outside environment with little cleaning and usually rain. Food. Big, saggy biscuits with a real egg and what appeared to be real sausage. Had they not called me a bitch when I walked up, maybe a 2-star biscuit. Biscuits were below average. Value, $37 for 2 biscuits and 2 coffee.
Whoa.
No
That's a
pictures,
city.
as I wanted no memory of this. So that's the review.
$37?
So it was the question, who's guilty?
So do you think Brett B is off on his review based on what he described to you?
Oh, yeah.
You
He's
think he's
guilty.
off?
I don't think so. Oh, yeah, he's guilty.
He's guilty.
Like, he should not have done
He
that.
shouldn't have done that. First of all, it's a hole in the wall place. I just looked at it.
It's called biscuit.
It doesn't look great. It looks like something you and I would whip up in our kitchen, like last second.
It doesn't look good?
Well, I think that's just breakfast overall. It's not
Dude,
sexy.
I've seen a breast. I
little
have
Freudian
seen-
slip there.
I've seen a breakfast biscuit sandwich
Okay.
that have looked so good you could make love to them.
That's also kind of our thing in the South.
In the South.
Okay,
so-
right. This looked like literally just a hot dog or sausage or hamburger, whatever I looked at. There was a hot dog in one of them. Just
I think
slapped on
it's
a
sausage.
So I'm trying to
Oh,
do
yeah.
the math. That would be like a $10 biscuit. So that's around Maple Street. And then like the coffee is like $5,
Yeah.
$6.
Right.
I don't think that's like crazy prices if they're like dressed up.
Forget the prices. This guy was like shivering in his knickers because he got called a bitch at breakfast. Bitch.
He's like, I went to an outside restaurant and had to sit outside.
Yeah, and it rains in Seattle. Oh my God. Could you imagine?
Yeah, no. I
You
think
think
he's in the
being a
wrong.
little
He's
picky
guilty.
on this one?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's been a little bit.
he's being a bitch. Of course they're gonna say that. That's funny.
I think it's clever. I don't know if it's clever. It's low hanging
Well,
fruit.
there's some restaurant that I've seen that will basically demean you. Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah, that is a whole thing.
Yeah,
And also, if you went into one of those and complained about,
right.
I
Them
bet those
demeaning
have
you.
1-star reviews.
At least he didn't go to frappe fucks when they. You would have to bleep that out.
Imagine what.
Like when they say that when he walks in, like F you.
I thought you said Fox, and I was like, I don't understand.
What would they do there when you walked in?
I don't know, like pinch your butt, Foxy, like the Fox Diner. I don't think they do that.
I hope they don't do that.
No, yeah,
That place has been around for a minute.
yeah.
All right. So this one's from Reddit.
So wait,
It's-
what's his sentence?
Oh, he's guilty. I
yeah,
agree
but
with
what
you
should we
guys.
give him?
Man, that's a good question.
Just have to
Are there
call him.
mandatory minimums?
Sometimes I feel like
Call him a
people should
bitch.
have to work in customer service if they give reviews like that.
Oh, you know what? He has to work there and he has to deliver that line.
He has to be the one to
He
say.
has to serve customers for an entire day and be the one to deliver that line.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
It's just like welcome to Moe's. Are you
They
gonna be
don't say
offended
that
because your
anymore.
name's not Mo?
You just tack on a bitch at the end. Welcome to Mo's, bitch.
But you're not gonna be like, my name's not Mo. How dare you? I'm a woman. I'm a female.
That is true. Yeah.
Female and female are gonna
It's a
walk
ridiculous thing to get upset about, especially, like, I don't know.
in. Oh gosh. Okay.
This podcast is brought to you by Farah and Farah. You know what's nice about letting Farah and Farah handle your accident case? They worry about all the details so you don't have to. That way, you can spend more time focusing on you, your family, and your future. Farah and Farah is here to make it easy. All right, so this next one is from a subreddit called Unpopular Opinion.
I'm sorry, Evan. What is subreddit?
Subreddit is, so Reddit is the site, and subreddit are like different categories, and there's different subreddits. Like the first one we read was from a subreddit called Am I the Asshole? So all the posts
Right.
follow that theme.
Oh, okay.
So all the posts in Unpopular Opinion follow the theme of being an unpopular opinion, or what people think would be one.
Okay.
So this one, the title is Calling the Sandwich Section of a Restaurant Menu Handhelds is Dumb as Hell. He says, they're sandwiches.
Hang on. Can we
This
just,
is going to get into the
can we
sandwich,
just
hot dog is a
laugh
sandwich debate.
Yeah.
at people are complaining. They
Yeah.
have this much time on their hands
Yeah.
that they're gonna complain about this. Okay.
Well, it's like complaining about going to an Italian restaurant and ordering it. It says chicken parmigiani.
Parmigiani? Or
Yeah.
how about manicotti?
Right.
I'm actually
Anyways.
on his side on this one, so I'm
Oh, I'm
very
excited.
curious to talk this one
Okay.
out. He says they're sandwiches. Call them what they are. No one in the history of humanity has ever said, "Man, I'm really craving a handheld right now." Anyone want to go get some handhelds? Yeah, sometimes there are wraps too. Call it sandwiches and wraps if you have to, or better yet, just call it sandwiches. People will know where to find the wraps. The handheld section. Menu section is a stupid trend that should go away. Maybe some of you want a bevy with your handheld brekkie, Sammy. I just want a sandwich.
Okay.
He's so passionate. What's his name? Karen?
Scooty Hoofdorp.
Scooty Hoofdorp.
That is the username.
All right, Mr. Hoofdorp.
Yeah, Mr.
Scoots.
Hoofdorp gets real bothered by lingo like
Yeah.
that.
Is it just me, or like I think handhelds makes it seem like it's going to be a better sandwich than if it just said sandwich?
I don't know. I'm almost leaning towards agreeing with Mr. Hoofdorp now that I heard this passionate reaction.
No,
But
because
go ahead, Nick.
if it just says sandwich, like I can make a sandwich. I don't know if I'm making a handheld.
So
that
one of
sounds
the-
like there's some
How are you going to eat it? Between your ass
there's
cheeks?
some effort. There's some effort behind it.
You're going to kneel, squat down, just try to get it with your ass
That's
cheeks.
not how you eat handheld.
So one of the comments that sold me on his perspective was the comment said, an even worse version, Sandos. No one calls them that. It's not a hip
No.
term, but I've seen multiple restaurants try. And someone said, calling it a Sando adds $4 to the price.
See?
Sando makes it sound like Adam Sandler. I think that's cool. My Sando.
Or like people who call them Sammys. That
Love Sammys,
That makes
dude.
my skin crawl.
Love a
I
Sammy.
can't do
No.
Sammys.
I love a good Sammy.
I think handheld makes sense because you're getting out of the argument of is this a sandwich? Because when you say hamburger, you're not thinking it's a sandwich, but it is, right?
The
Like,
burger.
you're not gonna. If you were going to a restaurant to
If
get
I
a
saw a sandwich section, I would expect burgers.
Hang on. Let me ask you
but
this,
my point
though.
is that when you go to a restaurant that has sandwiches on it, it's
Right.
gonna have a hamburger section.
Let
If
me-
it also does hamburgers,
Let-
do you think all the hamburgers are under sandwich?
Yeah.
Let me just
Every time?
hang on.
Not every time.
Hang on.
That's what I mean.
Define what a handheld is then.
Anything you hold with your hand.
So how come they have a separate section for burgers?
This place wouldn't. I'm saying a place that has sandwiches. Because if I was going to a restaurant looking for a club sandwich, I'm not going to look under hamburgers. It
Right.
better have a title that says sandwiches.
I'll tell you
But
what.
if I'm looking for a hamburger, it better be under hamburgers, not sandwiches.
Here's
Do you
why it's a
understand?
bad idea.
So if it's under handhelds, you get all of the options on one category.
No, let me hold your hand and explain to you why this
That
is
is
bad.
Excellent analysis.
There is no clear direction on the use of handhelds. And I went to a restaurant the other day, and they had a burger section and a handheld section. And then they decided to put their chicken sandwiches in the handhelds. But then I've seen burger places have
Well, I think that's
the
a
chicken
regional
sandwich
thing.
under burger.
That's a
under
regional.
burgers.
That's a regional thing. Like some people, some states call chicken sandwiches
A
chicken burger.
Yeah,
Those people are
that's
awful.
That's
Right.
a sentence right there. That's jail.
Look, I think
Look it.
you're not going to prove this beyond
But-
the.
Well, I think
whatever
we
the
can all agree that
standard
we
is in this
love
court.
sandwiches, right?
I would agree.
And I think you would agree with my next position, which is how can you desecrate and disparage the good sandwich name by not calling it what it is?
Because if you call something a sandwich, you better be darn sure it's a sandwich.
Okay, I'd like a handheld. Oh, you mean French fries? No, a handheld. Oh yeah, you eat those with your hands.
So, okay, here's a
No,
question for
see,
Nick.
French fries are under sides.
Oh no.
Question for you, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I would expect to be found in what some would call the handheld section would be like burgers and like you said, like a club sandwich.
Wrap.
What other menu items would not fall under the sandwich category that could fall under the handheld category?
A wrap. But that's a sandwich.
I think.
This hurts.
I think nothing. I think
So they're the same
Blank-
thing.
You're gonna have a menu that says handhelds with nothing underneath it.
no. I think this is the age old. Something. So just because it's a sandwich doesn't make it a handheld. That's the
Oh.
opposite argument. So every sandwich.
Is
Is
a
a
handheld.
handheld.
No, it's not, because you can have an open-faced sandwich and eat it with a knife and fork.
Oh wow.
You
I didn't
understand?
even think about that.
So not every sandwich.
Hey, what psychopath is eating their sandwich with a
Listen.
knife and fork?
And not every sandwich is a handheld, but every handheld
Is a sandwich.
is a sandwich.
That's not true, because is a hot dog a sandwich?
Well, that's part of the argument. I mean,
That's
some
part of
people would
the
say
hot
yes.
dog's a taco.
Oh, what about a taco?
See, now we're just
I want
that's
a
a handheld.
I want a burrito right
See,
now.
you would find tacos under handhelds.
Can I get a burrito?
But you
Can I
wouldn't
get-
find
Probably would.
tacos under
tacos
sandwich.
is a great example.
Yeah.
Tacos is a fantastic example.
So you understand
I
that's
think
why
I'm on your
handhelds
side
make
now.
sense.
With the tacos brought me in. I'm sold.
You like handhelds?
I don't like it. I see the utility.
You don't think it's trying to be like?
I would never put it on my menu.
Handheld.
I think one,
Would
you
you
can
like
charge more.
Turkey handheld.
You can charge. Look, if you go to a burger restaurant, right? Just that's specializes. Let's just say sandwich restaurant. They specialize in sandwiches.
Let's give it a name. Let's call it Sandwich World.
Sure. They're gonna have on their
No,
menu.
like Sandwich or Us.
They're gonna have on their menu burgers, and then they might also have sandwiches, right? So
Right.
separate options.
Right.
But if you go to a restaurant that does not only do sandwiches,
So, like, for
they're going to put it
example,
all under one section called
If you think of
handhelds.
like an Applebee's or a Chili's, they can utilize handhelds because they have so many different menu categories. They probably don't want.
Exactly.
12
So you
different-
flipped. He just
He
flipped
flipped
you.
me. I
Yeah.
think the tacos was a really solid piece of.
Well,
evidence.
I'm gonna flip you now. Ready?
Okay.
If you don't
Like a
agree
pancake.
with Norm Flurmbert, I'm quitting.
Well, now you're just
Now you're
coercing the judge.
All right, just make sure you hang up your headphones over there.
I don't know. I will say this: hearing handheld makes it sound more.
Prestigious.
No, the word I'm looking for is like bountiful,
Yeah.
like a bigger meal.
Yeah.
Like
I
you're
agree.
getting something substantial. You're not
Right.
getting a sandwich. That's a lunch item menu
Exactly.
that you can get in a convenience store. I'm getting a handheld. It's something that
It's going to be a
There's-
big sandwich.
yeah, there's some honor there.
It just sounds like a businessman lunch to me.
Right.
That's,
See?
that's what it sounds
Now
like.
you're getting it.
All right. Well,
right.
how do we want to sentence this guy?
I say he's guilty.
I think he just has to delete his post.
Delete his post.
Yeah, I think he needs to erase that.
No,
opinion from the
no.
internet.
I'm all for freedom of speech, man.
All right.
I like his position.
I
we
think
could just let it.
I think
let it
100
ride.
downvotes.
100 downvotes. That's a pretty
That's
good
how you
sentence.
read it.
I think he just has to order from a handheld menu.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You just suck it up and you do it.
And he has to say, I want the handheld.
Film himself ordering from a handheld menu.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I have one last question before we move
Okay.
on. If they're categorized as handhelds, if you see a club sandwich on the menu, then it better be called a club handheld in that section.
I don't agree with that.
No, it'll just say club.
It's just a class. The
Like the
handheld
Club
is just
15?
a classification for the menu section.
There's a funny club sandwich story. If we have time for it. Have you been?
Off air. We got to move on to our next
Okay.
one.
Okay.
All right. How
Sorry,
familiar?
listeners.
How familiar are you guys with local Jack's establishments?
Pretty
pretty
familiar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a game. I'm gonna read a review and not say the name of the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And you get to try to guess what the
Are
restaurant.
we
Oh,
keeping a? Can we keep a score
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
the jurors?
100%.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll do it every week. I think.
Okay.
Okay.
I think.
If
can
we
find it.
if we don't get canceled.
True. All right. This one is by a gentleman named Ed K. He's not a Yelp elite.
Mr. K.
Mr. K, Mr. Eddie K.
I just got home from insert name of restaurant here, and I had to review this. This is my third time going there. I figure give it one more try. This place gets lots of good reviews. I'm not sure why. That rhymed.
Uh-oh.
Now I've only ordered burgers, so that's it. I'm not sure of the name of the one I ordered tonight, but it had applewood bacon on it, the best part, along with some barbecue sauce and cheese. I ordered it medium rare like always. It came out perfectly cooked. However, there was zero juice. I didn't think it was possible for a burger to come out perfectly medium rare and be totally lacking any juice. I thought most restaurants used 80-20 grind beef. This was 90-10 at least. I also ordered the coleslaw. Sounded amazing. Bacon and blue cheese coleslaw. Wow, right. Nope. The absolute most bland coleslaw ever.
I think I already know
Which
what
I
restaurant
thought
this is.
would be impossible if it had bacon and blue cheese in it. How could anyone in the kitchen could make this and taste it and say it's good is mind-boggling. So disappointing. Needless to say, I will not be returning here again.
Wow.
I think I know.
I was gonna Google it.
All right.
The menu. That's cheating.
If Nick thinks he knows, Mario, what's your guess?
So you have me in a weird spot. I was gonna originally. I thought it was Pose that he was
Okay.
describing, but they don't have coleslaw.
Nick, what do you
That-
think?
My guess as well was posed.
Oh, really? Yeah.
you
they don't
guys
have,
are both correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
you serious?
No, I'm genuinely very
Wow.
impressed. That was
Yeah.
a good.
Yeah, I was going
You
to say
guys nailed
he shares the name of the guy
Yeah.
who the restaurant's after.
I didn't know they had
Mr. Edgar.
coleslaw.
I didn't know that. But
Wait, what's his,
I
was his name
also-
Edgar or Ed?
Ed K is his name.
Oh.
But for me, I think the thing that would have given it away if I was playing was that you can order it to temp because I don't think that many burger places do that.
See, I just share this guy's opinion.
Really?
I just don't think Pose is all that great.
Oh, whoa.
Okay.
Blasphemy. I
So that's
love
why,
Pose.
when it started, when you said hamburgers
Yeah,
and then
I
not that
love
great,
it.
I was like, is this Pose?
I had a not as good experience there, and then I had a good one.
Every time I'm there, I feel like I'm having an affair.
I also figured out how I like to order my burgers, and so that helped.
Well, now you can put cheese on yours.
Oh, man.
What do you order there, Mario?
I get my favorite thing is now I can get dairy, but I like the Amontillado. It's got pico de gallo, guac.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I think I've
the-
had that burger, the barbecue
with the
style
guy
one.
at the fries. Yeah.
I always make fun of burgers who have that like barbecue burger. I'm always like, oh, they threw an onion on it. We're getting crazy tonight.
Yeah.
Judy and I split dishes a lot, which she only eats well done. So she would like
do
that
mine
there was no
medium
juice.
well,
Yeah,
'cause
you got it.
Really?
Because to
How
me,
do you like yours?
Medium?
I like so I've learned that to me the medium rare, like it just the burger has no flavor. I actually like it with a little more cook
See,
on
I
it.
don't think it's a flavor problem. I think it's a texture thing that you're like leaning towards. This doesn't taste good,
The taste
but
is
it's
good.
a texture
You're right.
problem.
It's
Oh
possible.
wait, see, I used to eat well done, so I don't mind it. But
Because I agree, a more cooked burger has a better texture.
yeah, right.
because-
Yeah, that's fair.
Because if it's a raw,
It's
squishy,
just
like
squishy.
the-
Yeah, no, I get you.
yeah.
That's
But-
a good argument.
but at some point you'll lose the juice.
We have to go. We have to try the slaw. Is it coleslaw, buffalo cheese? What was it?
so the
Blue cheese
blue
and
cheese coleslaw, I don't know about that. That
think it'd be
doesn't
good.
Doesn't
sound
sound
that
good.
good.
No, I like blue cheese. I like coleslaw. Put those two together. It's like
So
Because
don't
coleslaw's already like vinegar heavy.
well,
to
don't
me.
think it's not. It's probably not made with the
It probably
Oh,
is.
true.
coleslaw style. It's just blue cheese with cabbage and
Yeah.
bacon. And
Maybe I'd like that.
I think you'd like it.
all right. Let's go.
Order
go
it.
right now.
Delivery.
Delivery.
Yeah, no, I mean, also his comment about the beef grind is a little like it's like,
Yeah, like what are you now?
yeah, you taste the
So
beef.
he's never
grind.
going back to pose. Ed K is never going back to pose. All right,
apparently
less wait
not.
time.
I was gonna say more for us, dude. Like lower wait time, especially since it's in Atlantic Beach. You have to.
You
Oh,
can't.
the
You can't
parking's
park there
impossible,
anyways.
yeah.
You got to go eat dinner at 4:45.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
That was
so,
fun.
Yeah, I would say Ed, you're still probably in the wrong here.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Take a hike, Ed.
All right. So our last story. This one's a bit of a doozy, so buckle up.
Okay. Do you
It's
have?
from Am I the Asshole?
Okay.
And it is, am I the asshole for ordering pizza at my friend's wedding because there was no food?
Absolutely
Hey,
So
not.
you might
that's
be able
it?
to relate to this.
Yeah.
But this one,
No food.
Wait. How can
we'll
I
get into
relate
it.
to this?
well, you might be able to identify with some of the like, with planning a wedding and
Oh.
considering the food. There's some dynamics in here. So I'm
Okay.
curious what you're going to think.
Okay.
Me and my wife were invited to my friend's wedding. The wedding was going to have about 70 people, with mostly family. When we got there, we were seated at a table with some other people, nice people, and we mingled well and had a good time chatting. The wedding was also quite nice. Both my friend and his new wife were very happy. After the ceremony, every table got 2 bottles of wine, bread and butter, and there was also an open bar, so we started to have a few drinks. Then the food came out. It looked really good. The food was set up for buffet. I was half buzzed and looking forward to getting some food in my belly. When it was time to eat, every few tables at a time were going to get called, which is fine.
They ran out of food.
I've been to weddings like this.
The first few tables that were called were understandably the family of both sides, then the rest were. The problem was that the family members, his in-laws, are larger people. Now, I don't shame people for how much they eat, but I
is.
noticed the helpings of food they had while I was patiently
my
waiting for us to
God.
be called. I also noticed that they went for seconds before all the
Hey,
tables were
no.
called.
Is
and
this
no one
is this
stopped
George
them.
Costanza writing this?
Yeah, what? This is a Seinfeld episode.
It gets better. I didn't say anything, though I thought that was rude. I just assumed that there was just a lot of food. To my surprise, by the time we were called, there was nothing left. I
Oh
asked
my
if there
God.
could be more coming out, and apparently that already occurred. So we grabbed the little we could and went back to sit down and ate the scraps. We were still pretty hungry and a bit pissed off, so we kind of bash talked the first few tables ate all the food. Someone mentioned that they could go for some pizza, and then I had the drunken idea of ordering some, LOL. So that is what we did. We all pitched in and ordered 4 large pizzas and some chicken wings from a local pizza joint close to the venue.
Yeah, man.
So it didn't take long to be delivered.
Good for them.
I met the guy outside and brought the food to our tables, and we started to eat. Some
well,
of the
maybe
other
not that.
tables noticed and asked where the pizza came from. Apparently, some of the other tables close to ours didn't get any food either, so we shared with them. This caused some commotion because other people were looking for and asking the wedding party if there was pizza available. I guess there were others that
Let me
didn't
guess.
get to eat either.
The big in-laws wanted some dessert pizza.
You're good. We did share with anyone who asked us. My friend came to talk to me about why I ordered the food. His bride was not happy about it. It ruined the aesthetics. So I told him that we didn't get to eat and that the food ran out long before our table was called and we were really hungry. He then asked why we didn't just step out and eat it and then
Right.
come back.
Right.
Though annoyed
Like
about
a normal
that,
person.
I probably respectfully explained to him that we were all drinking on an empty stomach, so it probably wasn't the best idea to have drunk people walking around looking for food. I don't think he liked that, but went back to his bride who was glaring at us. Like, what were we supposed to do? Starve? This wasn't the end, though. As we were finished eating, one of the in-laws came to our table and asked where the pizza came from. This is where I was maybe the asshole.
I'm so invested in this
God.
story right now.
He's gonna be so mean.
There were slices left. I knew he was eyeing them. I asked the other people at my table if they wanted one. Everyone declined. This guy then said he'd have one. I then took the 2 slices, I put them on my plate and started to eat them, and then looked at him and said something like, "No, you and everyone at your tables had way more than your fair share of the buffet and ate all of it. That is the reason why we ordered food in the first place, and now you have the nerve to ask us to share."
Dude, this is George Costanza.
This guy took a stance.
This is George Costanza.
His face went red and he returned to his table. There was a lot of discussion going on there. They were all looking back at us with daggers. The bride looked even more ticked off at us, and she had a bit of an argument with her husband. He eventually came back to tell us we had to leave. I didn't mean to start any problems, so me and my wife called a cab and left. He called me a few days later and we had a long talk. I explained my perspective, and he agreed that his in-laws were really rude for eating all the food and leaving most of the other guests with very little. A lot of people actually complained to him about it. Everyone was drinking, thinking there would be food, and they were disappointed. He was upset with his in-laws because he told them how many guests there would be and to order the food for that many people. He also saw how much they were taking and assumed they ordered enough. He was wrong. He brought this up with his wife, and she said apparently because the in-laws paid for the alcohol and the food, they felt entitled to eat what they wanted. She was really mad at them, reamed them out for tainting her special day. He also said that a lot of the other non-family guests started to leave soon after we left because they too were hungry. They still had fun celebrating, but it did kind of put a downer on their special day. Out of 70 people, about 30 left. I also found out that the guy that came to our table was his father-in-law. Father-in-law was really embarrassed by what I said to him. He felt pretty bad when he found out close to half the guests didn't get anything to eat and left early. So am I the asshole?
So
It was
much
a
to
ride.
unpack. That was awesome. Yeah, right off the bat, you made me think of we're doing a buffet style at my wedding, and we added on a separate pasta buffet as well.
Wow.
Right. At first, I was nickel and diming. I was like, "Oh, that's a lot more expensive." But then I realized,
So
Sounds
worth it.
delicious,
no.
though.
And my dad's like, "Look, at man, the number one thing that people are gonna remember about the wedding is the food,
The food and the dancing.
Big
food and the
facts.
dancing." Right. So you
Facts.
gotta have that. So I've been to weddings, and you guys all know whose wedding, and I won't say it on air. Obviously, I'll say it off air. This individual's wedding, that exact thing happened. I was like the third to last table. I was newer friends with him at the time, so I didn't get one of the prestigious tables. But we got up there, and there was like no food left.
That's so sad.
Yeah. And luckily, I drove for it, so I couldn't really drink because you get hungry when you drink. But that's like the worst thing.
If I were the groom, I would be flat out embarrassed that people didn't get food at my
I'd be
wedding.
Yeah.
embarrassed. Now, I will say he's an asshole for ordering it and bringing it in. Just step outside, or like, man, go to the coat room.
Well, because it's not your day, dude. Like,
it's not your day.
You definitely go up to the groom and you say, "Hey, not to kind of mess up your vibe right now, but we didn't get any food. So
Oh.
do you mind if we order food?"
Dude, don't tell me that at my wedding.
If he
I was gonna
says-
say, I wouldn't even say.
No,
I would
don't just step
sneak.
out. Just step out and eat
I
it.
would just be as little of a distraction as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
I do see where you're coming from though, because honestly, if I were him, I might want to know.
Yeah, wouldn't you want to know?
I would
Like,
kind of want to know.
I guess it depends.
I don't
it's,
wanna
it's
know.
different between, like, if you have a venue provided food service,
Right, which, yeah.
Usually are terrible. By the way.
Versus
Thanks.
If you have a nice venue, maybe it doesn't. But all the
Yeah.
ones I've had weren't good.
right
Pizza Hut.
versus a like where you ordered like from a restaurant and just didn't order enough.
Right. This particular story I told the friend,
so
that's what happened.
I'd be upset. Like if I was the groom, I would want to know that my venue provided place that required me to pay probably double what a local place would have been didn't make enough food.
Like go back in the
I'd
kitchen.
want to know
and
right
get,
away.
Yeah.
Here's a question: what's a worse offense, running out of food or running out of booze?
Oh my gosh.
Booze.
Probably booze.
Because like at the same time, like,
yeah, but that's expected. Like,
what about the hors d'oeuvres? They didn't eat any.
yeah, right. But that's expected.
Cocktail hour
The booze is like we're doing. It's like what 3-hour open bar.
Dude, if
Once
40,
it closes down, there's no more booze. I know it's not running out, but there's a time in a wedding when there's no more access to drinks. That's normal.
Oh yeah, because the bartender closes. I mean,
Right,
that's
you close
just
the
a
bar.
thing, right?
The bar closes. So,
well, not at my wedding.
Yeah, we
It
had
was open the whole
we had a
time.
New Year's Eve wedding, and so the bar was open a really long time. So
You're
Yeah.
only doing 3 hours?
I'm not gonna
I feel
tell
like
you.
3 hours is a pretty long time.
Well, it closes down during certain things of the wedding. We'll talk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have no booze,
Better bring
no
pocket
food.
booze.
I know, right?
For me,
order some
I don't know,
booze.
man.
actually-
I was excited. I was proud of him for doing the pizza thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know he'd bring it in.
Yeah, that's a little
Bringing it in's bad.
aggressive. Yeah.
You're-
Also, even if an in-law comes, I just don't think
Continuing it is also an
like
asshole.
why are you starting something at someone's wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so one of the comments says, "Not the asshole. You don't go for seconds until all the tables have been called."
True.
And someone says, "As is tradition, hosting a party is about ensuring your guests have an enjoyable time." And yeah, I agree with that, but I also think like you're starting something at someone else's wedding, creating things for them to remember back on not fond memories. Like I feel like that automatically to me makes him the asshole.
You know, I've just realized too, by saying that, it's like I need to make sure that the wedding planner gets every table through once before anyone goes up for second.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a given.
Yeah,
Is there
I was
anyone?
gonna say,
But
most
is there
people
anyone
kinda
to
know
monitor?
that.
Is there anyone to monitor?
Well, I guess that's kind of some evidence that we don't have or that we
Yeah,
should really
yeah. You're right.
think about because there's probably a
We
chance
need to
that
get the wedding planner in here to question,
the mother, the in-laws probably told the wedding planner, "Hey, I paid for this. I'm going to take what I
or
want."
for 70 people wedding, they probably didn't have a wedding planner.
Well,
My
70
wedding was
people,
about
I
70
don't
people
think
at
it's
wedding
that many
planner. Yeah.
people. Like mine was well over 70 and like I feel
71.
like it was like over 100 and I feel like
Bragging.
undershooting the food on that. Nah, it was all my wife was in a sorority, so
Oh, okay,
that's why.
yeah.
But I feel like undershooting the food on 70 is a little like that is indeed kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. What was the food? Chicken wings and a salad.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That
I'd
would
eat
be
chicken
awesome.
wings at a wedding.
That'd be a good buffalo.
Have you
food.
had any good like what's like the best wedding food you've had?
Well, that's a good question. The snack. I remember snacks. I don't remember the
I
actual.
went to a wedding where they served like barbecue. That was good. Like ribs and brisket. That was
Barbecue's
good.
not a bad one. And then there's some weddings where like they'll pay for like a late night, like after the
Yeah,
wedding.
that's what I
was gonna-
remember.
that's what I was going to say.
My
like,
cousin had tacos. We're doing chicken tendies.
Yeah, so you should do
guys
something
are
like that.
the
Yeah.
best for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is such a cool thing to do. For
I'll tell you right
guests.
now, though, you don't order for the entire wedding because they account
'Cause a
for
lot
the
of people leave.
Yeah, so there's gonna be limited access to those tendies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna run out though, because
Well, we'll
like
see.
I've maybe it's just having kids, but I tap out. I don't make it the whole time.
Yeah.
I guess
Oh,
it
at, like,
depends
a
who your friends are.
wedding or
At
something?
Any
Yeah.
any function.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we
don't.
we have to stay awake at our own wedding.
Well, dude, I mean, you're going to be doing so much. Good luck finding time to eat. Like, you guys better be like, don't talk to us for 10
knowing
minutes.
Judy, she doesn't miss a meal. Like she's very regimented.
Sometimes they'll have
We will
someone
set aside
like,
the time. We will eat.
yeah.
and
Yeah,
then we
you
will
kind of
dance.
have to be that way.
Sometimes you have someone like stand by the table and like turn people away or
Yeah.
trying to talk to you while you're eating.
An
Like,
eating
that's
czar.
a real thing that I think we did at our wedding.
Yeah.
Or I think what we did was we had the wedding planner say, like, everybody enjoy their meal, including the bride and groom.
Like everyone
Hint,
stay
hint.
away. Let them
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah. Well, what do we think? We think he's in the wrong here?
He's in the wrong. I think he's in the right for ordering the food. He's in the wrong for bringing it in.
What do you
Dude,
think?
two things: eat it separately or leave. You have a choice. Leave the wedding.
I agree. Eat it separately or leave. Bringing it in, maybe also not the worst thing, but like arguing with the bride and the groom, turning away the father-in-law, like doing all of that is just passive aggressive beyond.
That's adding on the sentence. Yeah, he gets jail.
I agree. Well,
Jail.
we've made some, I think, very important decisions today.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
we've done our civil
We
duty.
have we've done our duty.
So I think we'll just call it a wrap. But thank you guys for
Hey, rap or handheld?
Good point. Let's call it a handheld.
Let's call it a handheld.
We're gonna call
Let's
it a
do
handheld. We'll see you guys next episode.
Sounds
with some,
good, man.
Fresh new reviews and stories.
Thanks for
Excited.
having us. I'm excited. Court is out of session.
Adjourned.
Adjourned.
Oh, yeah.